Hello everybody, this is Stat Guy with the Cosmic College Baseball Podcast. For those new to the Cosmic College Baseball universe, let me explain to you what it is. Cosmic College Baseball is a sim league using Super Mega Baseball number 3. Each team represents a celestial body like the Sea of Tranquility, the Scorpius constellation, the Andromeda galaxy, etc. Let's go to the standings and look at the teams that we do have. First place in the league right now is the Sea of Tranquility Turtles. Number 2 is the Altar Gods at 8 and 6. Number 3 is the Scorpio Scorpions at 8 and 9. And fourth place is the Andromeda Ants at 6 and 8. Those are the teams in the playoffs currently. The Keel Eels are a tiebreaker out, and the Orion Hunters are a half a game out. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Our usual commentator is off doing his second job as a clock. We wish him best of his luck, and can't wait to see him back calling games in the Biodome on the moon. Now let's move over to MVP Watch. The current 6 Cosmos Pro Star candidates, that's our MVP for those wondering, are Baller Mueller, third baseman from the Altar Gods; Chico Rocket III, first baseman from the Orion Hunters; Godfried Benner, starting pitcher from the Altar Gods; Governess Woods, first baseman from the Keel Eels; Milan Marshall, an outfielder from the Scorpio Scorpions; Princeton Shepard, outfielder from the Andromeda Ants; and S.T. Tay from the Sea of Tranquility Turtles. Let's move over to what we call the Young Pitching Award. Look at those candidates. That would be our Best Pitcher Award. It's kind of like the Cy Young Award. Godfried Bender is also on that list. Starting/reliever pitcher Ramus Hale is currently a contender. Randy Zong, from the starting pitcher from the Sea of Tranquility Turtles, and Reed Mueller, starting pitcher from the Andromeda Ants, rounds out that list of candidates. We would love to hear who you think will win those 2 awards. Let me quickly pull something up for you guys. Ramus Hale. We forgot to put that. He's from the Scorpio Scorpions. By the way, I'm Stat Guy, the Stat Man for the Cosmic College Baseball League. Moving on to League Leaders. Eventually, there we go. Looking at the league leaders. Looking at batting average first, that'd be on your left. Milan Marshall from the Scorpio Scorpions leads with a 4.425 batting average. Tay follows him with a 4.15. Jack Johnson from the Altar Gods with a 3.92. Eric Hazeldine, also from the Altar Gods, with a 3.77, tied with his teammate Riley Cumming, also from the Altar Gods. Top female player in the league, Governess Woods, from the Keel Eels, is batting 373. Luther Potter right behind her with 371 from the Scorpions. Batting 360 is Mikey Angelo from the Sea of Tranquility Turtles. Chico Rocket III from the Hunters is batting 356. And rounding out the top 10 is Jason Singleton from the Andromeda Ants, batting 355. Looking at the home runs, we have a 5-way lead with 5 home runs at the halfway point. That tie is between Princeton Shepard of the Andromeda Ants, Baller Mueller and Leonidas Greer from the Altar Gods, and Luther Potter and Riker Reefkiller from the Scorpions. Right behind them are Chico Rocket III from the Hunters and Tay from the Turtles at 4. And then Zachariah Nash of the Hunters and Eric Hazeldine of the Gods with 3 apiece. Jason Singleton again rounds out the list, this time with 2 home runs on the season at the halfway point. Now moving on to bat RBI. Luther Potter leads that with 22 RBIs for the Scorpions. Chico Rocket III has 17. Leonidas Greer and Milan Marshall both have 16. Aaliyah Agro lead all females with 13. Aaliyah Agro and Lindsay Everdale both lead females with RBIs at 13. Hunter Midtown also has 13. Princeton Shepard, Evermore Brooks, and Leo Nardo have 12. Moving on base percentage, St. Tay of the Turtles leads that list with .631. Jack Johnson has 508 on base percentage. Chico Rocket III with a 506. Milan Marshall has a 494. And Governess Woods leads all females with a 492. Jason Singleton also has a 492. Luther Potter follows that up with a 474. Valentino Copeland from the Kiel Eels has a 463. Princeton Shepard with a 459, tied with Eric Hazeldine at 459. Moving on to slugging percentage. St. Tay leads by almost maybe a little less than 100. Has 829 slugging percentage. Baller Mueller follows that up with a 756. Chico Rocket III again on another list with 659 or 695 slugging percentage. Luther Potter 1% behind that, or 100th of a percent behind that at 694. Sorry, thousandths. And then Princeton Shepard has a 680. Leonidas Greer is 608. His teammate Eric Hazeldine has a 604 right behind him, and their teammate Jack Johnson right behind them with a 588. Jason Singleton doesn't round out this list, but he does have a 583, and then Milan Marshall rounds out the list with a 575. On base plus slugging percentage, Tay leads that with a 1.460. Chico Rocket III is second with a 1.201. Luther Potter, okay, we're good. Luther Potter has a 1.168. There it was. I knew the compression in the biodome wasn't right. Baller Mueller has a 1.156. Princeton Shepard behind him with a 1.139. Jack Johnson with a 1.096. Jason Singleton with a 1.075. Milan Marshall with a 1.069. Eric Hazeldine with a 1.063. And then Governess Woods rounds out the list and leads all females with a 1.041. Moving on to the third list of batting stats, Milan Marshall leads the league by a good bit with 31 hits. Closest to him is Emilio Hannick and Luther Potter, also from the Scorpions, with 23 hits. Chico Rocket III has 21. Maxine V leads all females with 20 hits. Also with 20 hits, it's Eric Hazeldine, Riley Cummings, and Jack Johnson from the Altar Gods. Governess Woods, second place in females with 19 hits, and then Evermore Brooks rounds out this list and the top 3 females with 18. Extra base hits, Chico Rocket III and Luther Potter. The dinner bell has rung in the biodome. Anyway, Chico Rocket III and Luther Potter lead the league in extra base hits with 10. Tay trails them with 8. Jason Singleton, Princeton Shepard, Baller Mueller, Leonidas Greer, Milan Marshall tied at 4th with 7. Governess Woods leads all females with 6, as tied with Aaliyah Agro, who also has 6. Strikeouts. Caesar Idol is the whiffer of the league, along with Zachariah Nash with 14. Kid Benitez from the Hunters has 13. Hanny Tucker and Boo Hardapple have struck out 12 times. Leonardo Driver, Alia Agro, Bailey Overly, Emilio Hancock, wow, I can't talk, have 11, and then Lindsey Everdale rounds out that list with 10. Let's move on to the last group of batting stats. Chico Rocket III with 16 runs scored, tied with Milan Marshall. They lead the list. Right behind them is Chet Wilkinson from the Scorpions with 15. Zachariah Nash, S.T. Tay, Jack Johnson both have 14, tied at 4th. And then there's a tie for 7th, with Jason Singleton, Brock Shepard, and Luther Potter with 13, and then Evermore Brooks rounds out the list with 12, leading all females. Stolen bases. Tay is dominating that statistic with 8 stolen bases. Evermore Brooks leads all females with 3, tied with Hassan Hammerhead, who has 3. Jason Singleton, Melody Olio, Axton Day, Maxine V, Tyrone Ramirez, Brock Shepard, and Chico Rocket III are tied at 4th, possibly with 2 stolen bases on the season at the halfway point. Now, on to the opposite of that, caught stealing. Melody Olio has been caught stealing 4 times, along with Maxine V, both leading the league and leading females. Leonardo Driver has been caught the most out of all males with 3. And then we have a big tie for 4th between Jason Singleton, Axton Day, Tyrone Ramirez, Dallas Farrell, Caesar Idol, and Darren Swanson with 2 times caught stealing, and Hanny Tucker rounds out the list, getting caught once, probably other players also with 1. Moving on to the pitching. Don Atello from the Sea of Tranquility Turtles leads the league with 4 wins. Reed Mueller, Spicy Sasso, Pastel Conrad, Brendan Bautista, Jackson Odom, Jonah Deputy, Randy Zong, Gamera Folk, and Godfrey Bender, possibly with other pitchers on that list, tied for 2nd with 2 wins. Who has the best earned run average? Well, that would be Cecil from the Sea of Tranquility Turtles. Leads the lead with a perfect ERA. Jacoby Grimes is in the top with .57. Reed Mueller behind him with a .64, And then we get people over 1. Brandon Bautista with a 1.13. Ramus Hale with a 1.14. Godfrey Bender with a 1.56. Getting the folks with over 2 is Gamera Folk with a 2.16, Donatello with a 2.22, Conrad with a 2.88, and Blevins from the Kiel Eels rounds out the list with a 3.28 ERA. Let's move over to the heroes of the pitching. Isabel Barnes and Jacoby Grimes and Colin Singlethorpe all have 3 saves on the season. Brandon Bautista, Hayes Blevins, and Braylon Sparks both have 2, or all have 2. And then we go on to Flower Tedson, Jonah Deputy, Jade Special, and Cecil, possibly other pitchers, with 1 save apiece. Second group of pitching stats. The whip of the league is Cecil with a .68, Jacoby Grimes with a .70, Godfrey Bender has a .72, Reed Mueller has a .81, Ramus Hale is a .89, Raph IL has a 1 ERA, Gamera Folk is a 1.02, Brendan Batista is a 1.08, Flower Tedson is a 1.11, and Randy Zong is at 1.16, rounding out the list. Let's move on to opponent batting average. Personally, one of my favorite stats in judging a pitcher. Opponent batting average. Ramus Hale has the best in that category with a .125. Cecil has a .140. Jacoby Grimes has a 1.64. Godfrey Bender with a a .177. Reed Mueller with a .188. Gamera Folk with a .193. Brendan Batista with a .195. Flower Tedson with a .205. Randy Zong with a .207. And Quinn Reynolds with a .214. And who is the strikeout leader? Let's check that out. Number one is tied between Randy Zong of the Turtles and Godfrey Bender of the Gods with 23 strikeouts. Braylon Sparks, has 21 total. Quinn Reynolds and Ramus Hale are tied at 17. Spice Cisasso and Hayes Blevins tied at 15. And Jackson Odom, Jonah Deputy, and IL all have 14 strikeouts on the season. Possibly another man or woman with 14 strikeouts on the season. Third group of pitching stats: strikeouts per 9 innings. Braylon Edwards averages 9 if he pitched the whole game. IL has 7.88. Zong has a 7.76. Cecil has a 7.36. Spice Cisasso has a 7.23. Donnie Brennan of the Ants has a 6.75. Hale follows them with a 6.46. Godfrey Bender has a 5.97. Gamera Folk has a 5.94. And Leva Carey has a 5.79 in strikeouts per 9 innings. Now let's move over to walks per 9 innings. Godfrey Bender has the best average in the league on that, with the less than 1 with a .78. IL second place with a 1.13. Jacoby Grimes with a 1.15. Reed Mueller with a 1.27. Cecil with a 1.84. Hayes Blevins with a 2.19. Tedson with a 2.84. Folk with a 3.24. Brendan Batista with a 3.38. And Braylon Sparks with a 3.43. Now the strikeout per walk ratio, Godfrey Bender leads that with a 7.67. IL right behind him with a 7. Jacoby Grimes, big space between the two, 4.50. Cecil with a 4. Reed Mueller with a 3. Braylon Sparks with a 2.63. Hayes Blevins with a 2.50. Randy Zong with a 1.92. Flower Tedson with a 1.83. And Gamera Folk with a 1.83. And that is the stats league leaders of the league. Let's move over to something else. As I was saying earlier, Cosmic College Baseball is the college prospect, if you will, feeder system league for the Galactic Baseball League. Galactic Baseball League will start after the Cosmic College Baseball League. But let us show you the teams of that league. Teams of the league, you have the Mercury Meltdown, the Venus Vixens, the Earth Astronauts, the Mars Martians, the Jupiter Gems, the Saturn Ringers, the Uranus Umbrellas, and the Neptune Nocturnal. Expected to get 2 more teams in the following season. More on that in the future. Speaking of the future, if things go right, we will accept applications for entry into the Cosmic College Baseball League. But more on that to come. We don't have the applications prepared quite yet. And that's all we have for you folks. We will come back later in the season with more updates. We will be back tomorrow with more Cosmic College Baseball from the Biodome on the moon.